Hello YouTube, this is Necrostevo and you're watching my 43rd narrated Wi-Fi battle. I have something a little bit different for you all today. It's my birthday. So I figured the best way to celebrate my birthday was to upload something for you all. So I hope you all enjoy this. I just also wanted to take a minute here to thank you all for your support. And thank you all for watching and enjoying my videos, and also for commenting on them and liking them. I kind of set out in starting this channel and just this would be a cool way kind of for me to look back on my own videos and not only improve with my competitive battling, but also just think of new strategies and have fun with it in a different way. But having subscribers who actually talk back with me and have a rapport there is really awesome, so thank you all for your support. This battle that I have today is another themed battle. I have a new theme team, and this battle I had with David. And this was a very interesting battle because we're running Chaos and Cosmos Dissidia themed teams. I start off with Gabranth the Lucario, and he starts off with Lightning the Zebstrika. So if you hadn't been able to tell, I'm running Chaos and he's running Cosmos. Knowing that Zebstrika can run fire moves such as Faraga or even Flare, he actually paradigm shifts right out of there, even though I figured he would go right for the fire type move, which is fine. I go out to Golbez, which could take either one of those. Having the Shadow Dragon allows him to have many different resistances and also be able to use many different types of magic as well. I wasn't sure what his Kane would go for. Kane is normally physical. He's pretty quick after, he jumps up in the sky. I'm not sure what he was going to go for there, but he just goes straight for Ice Shard, which wipes out my Golbez with the critical hit. I was pretty sure I could live that without the critical hit. The damage calculation shows that I would have been able to, even though he's life orbed, because I have HP in my Golbez. Plus he just has on that really, really heavy coat of armor, and he needs that going there. I bring back out Gabranth knowing that I resist the possible Rock Blast or the Ice Shard that Kane might carry. And he goes out into his Ject, and the massive thing takes up the whole screen, just oozing the poison that just wiped out the people in the awesome cutscene in Final Fantasy X. And I went for Aura Sphere, hoping that he would just stay in and try to set up. Because, Gabranth can do a lot of different things in both the magical and the physical side of things. This one is actually special. I have two different Lucarios now. But that Gabranth the Lucario is special. And I went out to my Emperor to resist any type of poison or water move his Ject wanted to use. And he just switches back out into Zebstrika, which means that seeing lightning means I have to go back out into my own Tentacruel, hoping that he would overheat. He could have Thunderbolted or Volt Switched. He actually has specs on lightning, so if he had Thunderbolted, even though this Dark Cloud, or Cloud of Darkness really, is max special defense and max HP, it would not have taken a Specs Thunderbolt very well. Fortunately, he does go for the Overheat or the Flare or the Faraga or whatever you want to call it. And I just go straight for Scald, not really using the tentacles there, but I was hoping to hit that Zebstrika and take some HP off of it. Lightning is pretty frail, but she has a great offense. So I do hit Kane as he comes back in. Not wanting to deal with that, I go back out to Gabranth expecting the Rock Blast, which is exactly what he goes for, and I just kind of picture Gabranth using his double-sided weapon to block each one of those. So that's kind of a cool image in my hand, or you can picture Lucario punching the rocks out of the air. Either way. But now that I know he's probably not going to try setting up, he probably might go back out into his Ject, the Tentacruel. But again, I couldn't risk him staying in and going for the Shell Smash or anything like that. And he goes out into Squall, the Staraptor, and he intimidates me, but it really doesn't matter because I'm special. And so Gabranth focuses all of his hatred into one Aura Sphere and just blasts his opponent with it. And Squall, I guess being the emo bird that he is not able to take that. Because, again, that is a special variant. If I were physical, the close combat may not have taken him out after the Intimidate. It's hard to say. But here, I don't want to stay in on Ject because giving him a chance to set up, Toxic Spikes or all sorts of things. But he just goes straight for Surf, which in the game, Ject, dragged an entire ship behind him for a little while as Sin. So going out to the Emperor is going to allow me to set up some traps, hopefully, and it's also going to allow me to kind of stay on the ground and wall him out for a little while. So here I go ahead and set up some traps there in the form of stealth rocks, which in my mind those kind of make me think of the little dynamite spheres that Emperor often sets up in Dissidia. And seeing my Ferrothorn again, he goes back on into lightning. Here again I had to make that prediction after I set up spikes on the Cecil that came in. I had to make the prediction of, is he going to overheat or is he going to thunderbolt? Because if I guess wrong, I was probably going to lose one of my two walls. And so here I was hoping that he was not going to overpredict again and went back out into Dark Cloud. And fortunately, he does go for the overheat again. So even though that is specs and it is overheat, does not do anything to Cloud of Darkness, the Tentacruel. For those of you who don't know, Cloud of Darkness is a male and a female, or a male or a female. It's kind of whatever it chooses to be, even though in Dissidia it takes the form of a more feminine type thing. But in the actual game, Final Fantasy III, I believe that is, it's either one. So Cecil comes back out here hoping to use the power of the moon to kind of block my special attacks, which is exactly what happens, because I Scald trying to hit lightning again, but that Scald does absolutely nothing to Cecil, and maybe that's because the moon leads him to have, better defense. It's hard to say. Knowing that Cecil has on great armor, which allows him to take hits, I go for Acid Spray not only to force him out, but also to make my Scalds do a little bit more damage. He stays in and goes for Confuse Ray, kind of hoping to dazzle me with the very light that he stole from the sun. But that's okay, as a Lunarian, you kind of got to deal with that. He's not an Earthling, so, it's to be expected. I didn't really want to try to do the 50-50 on the confusion hacks there, so I go out into Gabranth, hopefully to get off an Aura Sphere on something else. And he goes for Payback, which is odd that Cecil goes for Payback on Gabranth. Gabranth is really the one who has a lot of things to get payback for. The whole I'm a dog and hatred is what drives me, on and on. Anyways, Cecil's obviously going to switch out, does not want to get hit by Aura Sphere. He brings back Inject. I believe this turn I predicted and go for Dragon Pulse, I think. Or do I just go for Aura Sphere again? Yeah, I do go for Dragon Pulse. It is Jekt, so due to his bulk and good special defense, and even just the toxins oozing from him, he's not going to take too much from that, which sucks because now he gets a chance to rapid spin away my entry hazards. Picturing something in Final Fantasy X as large as Jekt rapid spinning is actually kind of entertaining. But that is what he does. He's able to blow away my entry hazards. I bring back in the Emperor with his Thorny Crown to make him take some Iron Barb damage, and I'll get a chance to set them back up, hopefully. Kind of a lolsy play right here. He goes for Rapid Spin again, I think, on this next turn, thinking that he'll be slower than me. But the Emperor doesn't really rely on speed. He relies on setting up his traps to do his work for him. So he gets a critical hit Rapid Spin and then dies to the Iron Barb Rocky Helmet damage while I set back up my Stealth Rocks. So I got some traps back on the field. Hopefully I can get some of his teammates to run into those dynamites floating around in the air. Get the spikes down again, and that'll be some nice light Crest type traps on the ground. Here I thought since I swapped out the other two times he was going to go for the Thunderbolt, so I stayed in. And he took advantage of that and just went straight for the overheat and obliterated my Emperor. But I did get back up the trap, so that's a little bit okay. That's going to discourage him switching around so much because he's going to hit those traps every time he comes back in. So knowing that he has -2 special attack and he is spec'd, I don't think I knew that he was spec'd during the time at the battle. But -2 special attack means he's not going to do anything to Cloud of Darkness, even with Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. So I go back out. I need to whittle this Umbreon down by setting up Toxic Spikes. So using the Toxic Spikes, 2 layers are going to make it badly poison and make it a lot easier to negate that Umbreon's leftovers gain. So here, knowing that he doesn't have Tentacruel to absorb them, it's very easy to set them up, and I figured he was just going to stay in and Confuse Ray me again, which is exactly what he does. The dazzling powers of the moon. Fantastic. But again, I don't think I stay in to do that 50-50 chance with the confusion hacks. That I didn't really want to deal with that, so he switches out, goes out into his lightning again. I think I double switch out the same turn, I believe. Do I? Let's check. Let's check. Nope, I stay in. I don't know why I stayed in. I hit myself. That's exactly why I should have switched out, because I am very prone to hitting myself. And when you're rocking all those tentacles of darkness and tentacles of multi-genders, you're liable to hit yourself because you're confused as to everything that's going around. The void is all around you. What can you do? He does go for the Choice Specs, Paradigm Shift, and Volt Switch. And you see how... I was surprised at how well Tentacle took that, because it is Choice Specs, Zebstrika, and Lightning. Both have pretty good offensive prowess. So I was okay with how well I took that. I stayed in and I went for Scald, I believe, because I just wanted to get damage. I think that's what my thinking was there. I really just wanted damage. So I stayed in and went for Squall, but I hit myself again, which means I could have finished off that Tentacle right there had I not hit myself again. Fortunately, Dark Cloud finally just immerses himself back into the void, and I think he snaps out of confusion this turn, but not before Kane uses his kind of Dragoon powers there to quickly hit me with an Ice Shard, just to get a little bit more damage on me to make it easier for something like Lightning to come in and finish me off. So fortunately I snap out of confusion right here, go for the Scald, and Cloud of Darkness is able to knock out Kane, the Dragoon, which is perfect. I don't need anything on his team running around with priority. So at this point I believe I have my Gabranth left, I have Sephiroth left, and I have my own X-Death left, which is my own Cloister actually. He goes out to Tifa the Lopunny. I'm hoping that she's just going to try to use her cute charms to, you know, infatuate me. But no, she just does what Tifa does and punches me right in the throat. And Cloud of Darkness goes down. We had 4 matches between our two Chaos Harmony teams. I'm sorry, Chaos Cosmos teams. And this was the best one out of those 4, in my opinion. I won all 4, you know, but this was definitely the best one right there. And I think this was the 5th one that we had. So I went out to my X-Death right there because I knew he was going to paralyze me based on the moveset in the other matches, and I didn't want anything else paralyzed, and he would also outspeed anything else that I brought in. So it was really, I was really praying that I didn't get paralyzed right there. And fortunately, Neo X-Death is able to just kind of channel the power of the Void and go directly for that Icicle Spear, which is knocking out Tifa very easily. Because Tifa is very frail, although she has great attacking potential, very frail. Here he comes in and he goes for Confuse Ray. And I knew it was at this point that I had to just take my teammate X-Death, use the power of the Void, and break through the confusion and the Parahacks, and I go straight for Explosion, which is going, yes, that's going to drag us both into the Void, but the more important point is that I take him with me. This is a max attack, adamant, white herb Cloister. I think his was more bulky and it had Life Orb. So 2 different Cloister sets there. His was Kane, mine was X-Death, more importantly Neo X-Death. So this is after he gets into the Void, and then he comes back, all souped up. So his last teammate is Lightning, and keep in mind that it's Spec, so it has to choose its last attack carefully, and he goes for Overheat because he knows that my last Pokemon besides Gabranth is Sephiroth, and that's obviously going to take out Gabranth. His hatred did not drive him strongly enough to do anything there. I probably should have bred that with some priority on it, but Vacuum Wave, I didn't think to breed it on there until after I had already bred him. So I just was too lazy. But fortunately, Sephiroth comes in. He's, you know, he has the Jenova cells in him, allows him to go straight for Sucker Punch, which was prioritized, and finish off Zebstrika. So that was an excellent battle. David, thank you for the battle. I love our themed battles, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. If you did, please leave a like. If you all would like to see other themed things, I hope to be using this team a little bit more and my Persona team a little bit more. So be looking forward to that. I hope you all have a great day, and I will talk to you all later.